What's happening, Delco? I'm Rich Shane, and welcome to the What's Happening Delco podcast. Today I'm joined by Vince Parker of Tile by Vince. Vince, welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me, Rich.
Well, thanks for being here. Vince, what do you do?
I set tile in residential homes. Showers, backsplashes, floors, accent walls, and more.
Now, what can people expect when they work with you, Vince?
They can expect a very precise installation according to industry standards and guidelines with the finest materials and very thorough prep work.
How did you get into tiling? What was your, start for all the doing that?
It was a roundabout way. I actually went to college and then I did a post-grad degree. So I studied English and then I studied education. But I've always had contracting in my family. And what I like to say to people is, unfortunately, I've discovered I'm an artist. And the best way for an artist to make a living around these parts is in the trades.
Now, when you say you're an artist, what were some of the forms of art that you gravitated towards?
Mostly language. I'm not a traditional oil painting or image artist, but rather somebody who has a proclivity towards expression and understanding. And I found language to be the best vehicle that I could grab hold of and execute in that regard. So a lot of drama classes, a lot of English classes, a lot of reading, and that's really where my heart was. So I studied English, and then I found a hard time transitioning after that. Lawyer was a popular thing to go, maybe copy editing, go into think tanks, things like that. But I had a hard time marching to the beat of the drum, if you will. And after teaching for 4 years, I just kind of found my way here after waiting tables and wondering what was next.
Talk about tile work. What do you enjoy? Is it just, I know it's the artistic side for you, but talk about what, goes through your mind or the process of tiling for you.
Sure. It's a very, very precise trade, which requires a consideration of the end at the beginning. And so it's a challenging event which requires all kinds of forethought. So in the prep phase, I need to know what the layout's going to be, where this is going to terminate, where that's going to terminate, where this flat plane meets that flat plane. And we're talking about tolerances that are 1/16th and 1/32nd of an inch. So I could be working on something for 3 weeks, and then suddenly on the 21st day, I realize, oh no, I'm in the totally wrong place on this wall. And then what I have is a waterproofed structure, which is not where I want it to be, and with a ton of labor into that. So the stakes are high, but the reward is great.
What are some of those aha moments for you to realize that for you and your business, you were onto something? Was it feedback? Was it just your own satisfaction of seeing the work that was done?
Yeah, totally. For a long time, I wasn't happy doing anything. And that was in teaching and that was in waiting tables. So just the fact that I'm ready to wake up every day and go to work, that was one huge signifier that I was on the right path. And thereafter, I kind of started to realize that maybe I was relatively exceptional in my trade, and therefore I could add value and set myself apart from others who have been doing it for years or in the neighborhood around me.
You mentioned waking up feeling motivated. Talk about what motivates you to get out of bed and start your day.
My son and my wife.
There you go.
And for a long time, I was like, is this all there is? And after I had a son, totally different perspective. So I guess that's not tile related, but he is my fuel and also my lovely wife.
No, that's motivation. That's what I'm saying. It's that idea that every day you've got a purpose, and the purpose is you're taking care of your family, and to excel at what you do, that's going to give them an even better life for you and them.
Definitely. It helps fight through, like tonight, I'll probably go home and write estimates until 1 a.m. And, I'm not, quote, getting paid for that. And it can be dark and it can be frustrating. Or after a day of working with your hands and, fighting in the trenches, it does become difficult. But because they're there and because they need me, it's work worth doing. And I'm happy to do it.
Are there people that mentor you and give you inspiration?
Absolutely. I have not had a master in the classic sense. I hesitate to use the term self-taught because I don't think that is real in any literal sense. I think everybody learns from other people and other things. So I've had the great fortune of other tradesmen around me, not necessarily tile setters, but plumbers, electricians, carpenters who have been on the path of small business ownership before me. So many of them are a strong network of mentors on the business side of things. But as far as tile setting goes, I learned a lot from mistakes and access to the internet, especially Instagram, ironically, and other tile forums. Like there's a forum called the John Bridge Forum, which is an excellent resource. It's kind of become a little bit passé with modern technological advances, but reps for chemical companies that I deal with, tile setting material companies, all of these, I have met people who I definitely jive well with in all these different stages, and all of their deeper experience has enabled me to expedite my learning in a way that would have never been possible otherwise.
What sets you apart?
I am the fool who went to college for 7 years before starting this. And whereas some may say that it's irrelevant and unrelated, I would say that those wider experiences taught me how to learn and how to adapt in ways which have been invaluable for me in this part of my life.
Why Delco? What stands out for you about Delco?
I love Delco. My wife, that is the answer. When you are from Delco, you do not leave Delco. And my wife grew up by the old bubblegum factory. So we bought a house on Brookline, and I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
Couple of kind of rapid fire questions. You don't know what they are. You don't know what's coming.
All right.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So you're ordering a cheesesteak. Where
Yes.
are you going?
I am going to Steve's Prince of Steaks, either in the Northeast or Center City.
Okay. So nothing in Delco.
If I happen by it, I'll happy to go. That's a great question because we are talking about what's happening in Delco. Chenzo's around the corner. Love Chenzo's. They know me by now, and I order the same thing every time.
All right. How about pizza?
Chenzo's.
All right. So you're going for steaks and pizza at Chenzo's.
My wife would say Picas, but I would say Chenzo's.
You're bringing friends or you have people coming in from out of town. What's that Delco experience that you want them to have? What would you do? Where would you take them? Where would you send them?
In the summer, we're walking to Brookline. We're getting slushies at Cuddy's. Maybe Brick and Brew if we want a more rich atmosphere, perhaps. I think there's a couple more BYOBs coming up on the Derby stretch, so we may roll them into our regular haunts coming soon.
Wawa or Royal Farms?
Wow. I guess the people want me to say Wawa.
Well, it's your own answer.
I'm a sucker for some pressure-cooked chicken, so
Okay.
we'll say Royal Farms.
All right. Where do you see your business, Tile by Vince? Where would you like to see it in the next 5 years?
I would like to see it in a place where I am plucking the low-hanging fruit, which is tongue-in-cheek, doing the most robustly intricate pieces, which hopefully don't have me on my knees, while perhaps one or two mechanics work for me with their own helpers so that I can have enough volume to be working less with my body, but still not so much that I can't keep a tight watch on quality control.
This has been awesome. How do people find you? How do people connect with you?
I am on Instagram and Facebook. My Instagram handle is @tilebyvince, no punctuation. And my Facebook profile is simply Tile by Vince. I do own my domain name, but we have not yet made that operational.
And is there an email or a phone number you want to give out?
That's right, tilebyvince@gmail.com. And my number is 215-806-6591.
Vince, is there anything we haven't talked about on the podcast that you want people to know about you or you want to share about your business?
I've got a wonderful dog at home named Pikachu. She is also an excellent driver for me. But besides that, tile's a pretty straightforward business as far as, what you want and getting it in your house. The tricky stuff is up to me, and I'll be happy to handle it when I come around.
Well, if anybody in the podcast listening audience is thinking about doing any tile projects, the first person they want to call for doing that is you, Vince, Tile by Vince.
That's right, Rich.
Thanks, Vince.
Thank you, Rich.